events. So the old gods are coming back. This is a phrase that is being spoken by some high up people in high up places, including the Pentagon, and it's got people very concerned, and they're actually making preparations for the old gods coming back.
But they're coming back all right. They will be released at the fifth trumpet judgment of Revelation chapter 9, where we can see that the bottomless pit is opened. Because these old gods that are coming back are the watchers, the fallen angels of Genesis chapter 6, where they did not keep their proper domain but left their own abode. Leaving their own abode when they, the sons of God, the B'nai Elohim, came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown, which for those who know, those are the Nephilim. These right here are the gods of old. As we can see, these angels, these watchers, rebelled against God, and now God has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, the bottomless pit, the abyss, for the judgment of the great day. And now for those who want to argue that angels did not mate with the daughters of men to create Nephilim, then answer me this: why does Jude compare this situation right here with the fallen angels leaving their abode, which we see in Genesis chapter 6? He compares that with Sodom and Gomorrah, where they are in similar manner giving themselves over to strange flesh, over to sexual immorality. Like it or not, believe it or not, I really don't care. The fact of the matter here is that fallen angels rebelled against God by coming down here, leaving their own abode, and mating with the daughters of men, which through this unholy union and defying the laws of God produced the Nephilim, the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. As we can also see Peter talking about this in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, for if God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them down to hell, that word right there is Tartarus, the bottomless pit, the abyss, and deliver them into chains of darkness. And now what I find interesting is the timing of convergence of events taking place right now, and how this right here is going viral, how the Anunnaki are given a warning message. Now, for those wondering, the Anunnaki are the Sumerian accounts of the old gods, the watchers, the fallen angels. And now I also find the timing of this all very interesting, the convergence of events, where this is also going viral on TikTok, where people across the world are hearing explosions in the sky, where people are describing it as loud booms or trumpets. Now, what I find interesting is how people are calling this the galactic war, or the war in heaven, which of course makes me think of Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, and they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, which of course makes me think of Luke 10:18, and he said to them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. And go figure, people across the world are seeing these fireballs come down from the sky, which again makes me think about the fifth trumpet judgment of Revelation chapter 9. When this takes place, you will see a star fall from heaven to the earth. To him was given the key to the bottomless pit, and he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. And we can see right here that demons come out of this bottomless pit. But Revelation 9:11, and they had as a king over them the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew is Abaddon, but in the Greek he has the name Apollyon. So now let me just clarify something here for a second. That way we don't have miscommunication or any type of confusion. I am not stating that we are witnessing the fifth trumpet judgment right now. But what I am saying is that it sure seems like we are seeing a lot of precursors, a lot of signs of the tribulation that is coming. With the time I have remaining, I want to show you guys some weird events that are happening right now, where we can see a convergence of events, and you can take the information and come to your own conclusion. But as we can see right here, breaking: Japan government issues emergency earthquake warning. And as we can see, Japanese islanders left sleepless after 900 earthquakes hit, where a remote island chain in southern Japan has been shaken by more than 900 quakes in the last 2 weeks. And as we can see, there has been a swarm of earthquakes in the southern area of Japan, totaling 8 of them of magnitude 5.0s or larger in the last 24 hours. Now, something super interesting is the coincidence of all these earthquakes swarming in Japan, where there's also a prediction that was told from a 2021 manga called The Future I Saw, where this individual said that there would be a huge earthquake hitting Japan on July 5th of 2025. What are the odds? And now we have seen some strange weather events taking place, as we saw this one in Lake Tahoe, which, interesting enough, I was there the Friday right before the Saturday where this took place, but Lake Tahoe turned into an ocean where they did not forecast this crazy storm. Nobody saw it coming, and out of nowhere, 8 people passed away. And it's just wild, showing the times that we are in. Now, something else to add, which is strange and nobody else is really talking about it, but apparently Washington, D.C. is locking down with barricades around the White House. There has also been other reports of barricades going around the Treasury and other government buildings. Now, speaking of strange end-of-the-world weather events, we had this happening yesterday, July 1st, where Vegas was hit by a crazy windstorm. Whereas we can see right here, every single power pole on this street was taken down. And then not to mention, again yesterday, July 1st, where a record summer downpour dumped more than a month's worth of rain on central China in just 12 hours. Now, these floodings have been going on for the last couple of weeks in China. Now, I'm trying to fit as much as possible in this video, but there's just a lot of strange things going on, guys, like the symbolism with this right here. Raising Cane's star shines during Iran's military operation. And of course, the photo they use for this shining star, Raising Cane, is him showing up the devil horns. And for those wondering what's the symbolism here, it's the idea of going back to the bloodline of Cain. And speaking of the bloodline of Cain, we continue to see the slogan of the Antichrist, peace and security.
The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety.
And we can even see through the drama of season 2 between these two lovebirds where Mr. Chip in the Brain is giving credit where credit is due. Mr. Golden Dawn has successfully resolved several serious conflicts around the world, where he then went and reposted this post from Mr. Golden Dawn talking about a 60-day ceasefire, where he is talking about bringing peace. And I wonder if it's just a coincidence that they chose specifically 7 years for a ceasefire deal. And of course, as we can see, the wolf in sheep clothing himself, the hireling Mr. Kirk, posting this, breaking. President Golden Dawn announces a 60-day ceasefire to the Israel-Gaza war. And what does he call him? The peace president. What's the slogan of the Antichrist again? Oh yeah, that's right.
The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety.
Now, with that being said, I believe it is clear as day the times that we are living in. The writing is on the wall of the return of Jesus, the great tribulation that is at the door, the convergence of events, the Bible prophecy that is falling into place. But again, take the information to the Lord, take it all with a grain of salt, pray and seek the Lord for discernment and wisdom. I am just presenting to you guys information and my own opinion on the matter. But at the end of the day, the only thing that truly matters is your relationship with the Lord, walking with Him, growing in maturity, having your mind transformed and renewed. So if this information is not causing urgency upon your heart to draw closer to Him, then you need to take that to God and ask what's going on. Because in my own personal walk, my own personal life, this information, the whole Bible prophecy, these events that are taking place, it causes urgency in my heart to draw closer to Him, to love others, to be a true witness, to be a living testimony, to share the gospel. It lights a fire under my butt personally. That's why most of my ministry here is to talk about this subject, because again, it really affects me. It brought me to the Lord, seeing the theories going on in the world and the convergence of events. It brought me to God, brought me to the gospel, and therefore I then present the same things to others because it worked on me. But if this does not resonate with you, it's okay. It's fine. I love you anyways. But again, get the gospel out, whether you believe it is the end times or not. Share the good news of Jesus Christ, that we have eternal life with Him right now, present tense. If you trust and believe upon Him for what He did on the cross 2,000 years ago, shedding His perfect blood, He who knew no sin became sin on the cross, that we can become the righteousness of God in Him. That is the good news. Free gift of eternal life, trusting and believing upon Him, what He did, and that He was buried for 3 days and He rose on the 3rd day to prove that He is the one who conquered sin and death, and that we shall also likewise be glorified and resurrected like Him. So with that all being said, I love you all so much, guys. God bless. Remember, the just shall live by faith.